All right, here we go. Bearded Bastards, episode 2. This is our first official review. Thank you guys so much for watching our pilot episode where we just introduced ourselves and gave you the what, where, who, why, when, how of what the hell is going to be going on this channel. YouTube is going to get the full-length videos of all of the things that we do. Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube Shorts will get abbreviated versions of little clippable things that we do. And I think we posted 2 of them so far.
Yes.
This will be our first official Dynamite review for what date would this be? 9/18/2024, since today's the 19th.
That's correct.
All right. So let's just start. Did you watch Dynamite, Zach G?
Yes, I did. I watched the most of it, and then I watched the very last part this morning.
Okay. So I have, as Zach does, if you're watching this, I have 2 pages of notes. This is the first time I'm really trying to do note taking. So there's going to be shit that I'm missing. There's going to be things I'm leaving out, I'm sure. And same thing with Zach, but hopefully what I missed, he wrote down and vice versa. And if we missed something altogether, it's just because it wasn't that important. So first things first, pop on the show, boom. Orange Cassidy, Chris Jericho in some kind of a match that's 4 years in the making, because I guess they don't know what to do with either guy right now. But let me point out one thing. We talked about Orange Cassidy in the pilot episode about how he's just this little guy and blah, 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 blah. At least he's a little guy and kind of ripped. Okay.
Yeah, I wrote that also. Yeah, I'm gonna bash him probably until we do this till the day we die.
Yeah,
but it looks like he's in shape.
Right. He looks like athlete. He looks like a tennis player or something. He doesn't look
Swimmer.
like a professional. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Jericho looks like a bowl of mashed potatoes, bro. Like, I know he's 50 something. I know he's
52.
Yeah. Show him the gun, Zach J. Show him. Look at that. Oh boy.
That's my whole thing. And I'm going to get into it. I'm 52. I look better than the first 6 people they had on the show, and I don't get paid to do this stuff. And I have a full-time job where I work 45 to 50 hours a week. Give me a break. Right. I'm fired up, by the way.
And you know what? You're not wrong, bro. So I have here, my notes are strictly this. Okay. Orange versus Jericho. Thoughts on Jericho's physique. Looks like shit. Match was way too long. This is another 2 commercial break match.
You know what I thought? Because they announced the time limit.
Yeah.
My prediction was a 30-minute draw for a time limit, because that's where they were getting. It was close.
Yeah, it had to be close to that. I have down here, it was for what it was. The match moved along well. They were trying to do, some high spots. They went through a table and they did this and did that. They got the outside people involved before, because this is the first time that we're ever commenting on Jericho's learning tree gimmick. What do you think of the learning tree? Hi, guys.
I think it's stupid. If I wasn't doing this, I would have turned the channel. Yeah. That being said, I have written down Big Bill's being wasted.
I have on my notes, Big Bill jacked.
Yes. He's being jacked, and he's fighting off the guy who obviously doesn't work out anymore.
Yeah.
Who weighs 195, 200 pounds. It's ridiculous. Who was that? Kyle O'Reilly?
Yeah.
Who's not a bad professional wrestler. He doesn't look the part anymore. Like he gave up.
Yeah. He was his best when him and Bobby Fish were I forget what the hell they were called.
On NXT, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they were in Ring of Honor for Red Dragon. They were really good. So Big Bill, of course, jacked, 7 feet tall. I don't know if that's a shoot or not. Maybe he's 6'10" or so. But he's a big dude. And of course, he's already lost to Hook. He's already lost to, all these other people. It's like, come on. I feel like Tony Khan, this is a shoot right now. I feel like Tony Khan, being all 5'7", 122 pounds of him, is mad at the big guys for some reason. Because all these big dudes, your Big Bills, your Brian Cages, your Luchasauruses,
Hobbs,
Wardlow. Yeah. Well, speaking of Wardlow, that was a jack motherfucker,
man. Yeah. You'll probably see him at WWE soon, I'm guessing, because
Wardlow or Wardlord?
Sorry, Wardlow.
Wardlow. Yeah, he'll probably be there. But yeah, all these big dudes, they lose all the time. Wardlow at least comes and goes on a little streak and beats a bunch of people up. They do the same thing with Lance Archer. All the big guys. If it's going to be Lance Archer versus Darby Allin in a match, you already know who's winning.
Oh yeah.
So it kind of sucks. And
Yeah.
let me make a comment about Keith, Brian Keith, who's the little black dude that does the bounty hunter gimmick. That's with Jericho and Big Bill. I like him. I saw him on the indies, PWG. I saw him on a bunch of other indies just randomly. I think he was in he might have been in GCW, might have been in some of the other ones, and he's a good little worker, man. He can go, but they just have him overacting, and it always seems like he misses his cue. There's that awkward pause between when Jericho and Big Bill says something, and then they pan over to Brian Keith, and it's almost like he forgot what he was supposed to say. He's like, I pity the fool, or whatever the hell he's going to say. He's got like a little Mr. T gimmick going on.
Yeah, I got a couple quick more comments, and we can move on if you want.
Go ahead.
I guess this was a no DQ or no count out match because for the whole picture-in-picture,
there's
just a minute and a half, both dudes are outside of the ring.
Yep. Well, that's a theme with AEW.
I know. I'm just pointing it out because we haven't done this before. And the roll of quarters exchange between Jericho and Orange Cassidy.
Yeah.
It looked like a quarterback throwing it to a running back on a toss sweep.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah. Here, take my roll of quarters. I mean, kind of like when I have a video idea in my mind, it's always the video idea could be the greatest thing in the world, but if the execution isn't there, that's always the toughest thing. Tony Khan or whoever was the booker or the agent for this match probably thought, or Jericho thought of it. And it was just in the heat of the moment. You can't. It has to be a smooth transition, or he's going to drop the quarters. It just looks super fugazi. But yeah, Cassidy wins, punches him in the head with the roll of quarters. I don't know what this does for either guy. Because I think Cassidy now is at least 2-0, if not 3-0 against Chris Jericho. So, I mean, what's happening here?
I think Orange Cassidy sucks.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm happy that he's not doing that sloth, lazy gimmick that he was doing on the end, because he used to do that for the entire match.
Yeah.
And now at least he's working and he's doing the thing. But every one of his matches, you're going to see all the same moves, just like with a lot of the other wrestlers.
Well, that's going to be a theme here.
Yeah.
Except for the end. I was surprised. A little bit different style than it wasn't as high flying as they usually do. I think, because I'll get into why, because I missed some parts, and I'll tell you why. Okay.
You talking about the end of the show?
Yeah, the main event. Yeah.
All right, so moving along. After that, we got Alex Marvez, who has no charisma whatsoever. Dude, my mother has more charisma than Alex Marvez, and I think he must have some kind of a sex tape or something on Tony Khan, and Tony Khan just employs this dude because he's got he's got something on him.
Oh my God.
Maybe he was at a Diddy party or something. I don't know. But Alex Marvez is in the back and he's interviewing Wheeler Yuta.
Oh,
I'm like, bro, all I have written down under this interview is drizzling shits. What do you got?
I have Wheeler Yuta, WGAF.
WGAF.
Who gives a F?
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, listen, I know what they're trying to do. And people that are watching this review, they're like, oh, why even watch the show? You don't like it. You hate it. Listen, there are things that we like about AEW. Just the first 2 segments sucked. That's our opinion.
Yeah, real quick. They had the thing, the Blackpool Combat Club segment before the Wheeler Yuta.
Oh, like a package, right? Video package?
Yeah, well, they're walking around, whatever.
Okay.
At least they're believable.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, and that wasn't bad.
No. Moxley, I like as much as he wants to be Stone Cold so bad and he wants to be this badass dude so bad, at least he's kind of believable. I like that. I mean, if they're going to continue to call themselves the Blackpool Combat Club, at least they have Adrian Neville. What do they call him now? Pac? Is it? What is it? What do they call him now? I forget his name. Pac, yeah. At least they had the bastard Pac, yeah. At least they have him with them because he's actually from the United Kingdom. I don't know if he's specifically from Blackpool or
wherever. He looks like a pro wrestler also.
Exactly. And he looks the part. Yeah, he's 5'1", but he's freaking jacked.
Yes, he is.
Go. And that's the thing. The theme here, we're not picking on the little guys, but if you're going to be a little guy, be freaking Ivan Putski. You know what I mean? Be freaking jacked out of your mind. Like have some sense of believability.
Pretend like this is your job
Yeah.
and you get paid to look good to play the part. That's all I ask.
Exactly.
Christ.
So Moxley now has the Marina Shafir, which I believe is Roderick Strong's wife in real life.
Really?
Yeah.
He's jacked.
Yeah. Roderick Strong is jacked, and Marina Shafir, she's like a shoot fighter in real life, so she is playing this little badass role. And who else? Oh, they got Claudio, who
I don't buy him as a heel at all.
No, he's the thing with Claudio is I heard in an interview one time that the reason that he doesn't speak well in terms of like cutting promos and shit is because I think he speaks 5 or 6 language fluently.
True. Yeah.
And as he's trying to get into character and cut a promo, all these other languages
running
jumbling in his head and shit like that. So
but
anyway,
I do like him.
Oh yeah,
he's
for
a
sure.
Good worker. He's strong. He looks good. He looks like a wrestler.
Looks the part. Yeah, it looks very believable. And he's solid in the ring. He's better as a part of a faction where he's not the main dude.
I agree.
Yeah. And so they were backstage again. Alex Marvez interviewing Wheeler Yuta. Yuta's playing I'm so conflicted because they beat up Bryan Danielson, who was part of the Blackpool Combat Club. And then they beat him up.
He's got a lot on his mind. He can't remember things. Hopefully, he doesn't remember to show up next week.
I hope that as well. That is.
I think he's from Philly. No offense, hey, fellow Pennsylvanian, but stay home, pal.
Yeah. I mean, listen, he's a newer dude, and he got thrown. I guess the way that they think that they're going to get people over is take a nobody and put him in a faction with a bunch of somebodies, and that's automatically going to get him over. Do more people now know who Wheeler Yuta is than they did 3 years ago? Yeah, of course. When he was just farting around with the best friends and all that, sure. But
they did that with someone else, with the biggest star in the company, MJF. The guy took out MJF, and the guy took him out. You haven't seen in 2 weeks on TV.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah, I agree. So next up, I have your favorite wrestler, Hook versus JD Inc.
Good God.
And it was just why do they do this on Dynamite, their A show? Just have some jobber from out of nowhere. They do this all the freaking time. This isn't the first time that they did it on the show.
Dude, of all people to have a squash match for, you're having one for a 170-pound kid.
Yeah, they announced him at 201 pounds.
I'll get into that later, and I'll tell you why. They announced someone else the same weight. Even Taz goes 202.
Yeah,
these guys should get together and go over what they're saying their weight is, because that doesn't add up.
No,
Will Ospreay weighs 12 pounds more than, or 18 pounds more than Hook.
Yeah,
get out of here.
I remember when Shibata and Hook, I think they were tagging or they were on a tag team one time.
Yeah.
They were like a pound apart, but Shibata looks like a grown man and, has a halfway decent physique.
Yeah.
And come on, they aren't the same weight.
It's not like Hook's legs are huge and he held his weight downstairs. His legs look like yours, for Christ's sake.
Oh, Jesus. That's Robert Frank shtick stuff.
Okay, sorry.
Don't bleed the two together.
Sorry, my bad.
All right. So I just wrote Hook versus JD Inc. equals GAY. And then I don't even know what else.
I got that 2 sentences down. I have GAY twice in a row.
Yeah. I'm just, and listen, people are going to be like, oh, these guys are AEW haters. No, it's just, I don't believe Hook at all. When he comes out to the ring, you could tell he's biting his cheeks because he just wants to crack up and smile. He puts his badass, persona on, and he does the same suplexes. He doesn't even give a damn where he's throwing you. He just grabs you. He's a move guy. He just wants to go from move to move. There's no selling. There's no intensity. There's no nothing. It's like, oh man, I got to get up and do a Tazplex or whatever the hell he's going to do. There's no, And again, it ruined it for me when I'm pretty sure Hook beat Big Bill. I know that for a fact. And I'm also pretty sure he beat Samoa Joe as well. Come on, bro. I know this is fake and wrestling isn't real, but suspend my disbelief a little bit, bro. That's all I ask. Christian and his patriarchy and Kip Sabian have some kind of bull crap in the back. Another one of your favorite wrestlers, Nick Wayne, is looking all mean.
I have Christian. He can talk. He plays a part of a good heel. I like Christian. I really do.
My only complaint about Christian, he relies a little bit too much on the cheap heat and the whole, oh, your father's dead type gimmick. Like every single person is like.
And he doesn't have to because he's good. I like Christian.
Correct.
I have Nick Wayne, G-A-Y-A-F.
Yep.
Kip Sabian, G-A-Y.
Yep.
And that's all I have written down for that. And then the biggest person in that faction, other than the dinosaur, is Nick Wayne's mom.
Yeah, she is pretty tall, and she's got some huge cans too. I don't know if they're real or not. And now, my next favorite,
I'd like to find out.
Next segment coming up, my favorite. And I don't understand it, but Mariah May was involved, and Mariah May is the hottest chick in wrestling. I'm sorry. Everybody can have their favorites. People say, anytime that I bring up in public or if I mention it on Twitter or wherever that Mariah May is the hottest, I don't know, and I don't like blondes. You know me, dude. I'm a brunette guy.
Yes, you are.
She, for some reason, I just find her extremely sexy. And the person that everyone combats me with is Alexa Bliss. I would bang Nia Jax before I banged Alexa Bliss. I don't find her hot at all, bro.
But, I'd bang Nyla Rose before I'd bang her.
Oh God.
Or vice versa. Whatever.
Hey, we're not. Hey, this is a public forum, bro. We're not going there.
I left it to the imagination.
Yeah, exactly. But Mariah May and Serena Deeb, Serena Deeb is one of those chicks that you see like every 8 months will pop up for a month and then she bounces. Yeah, she's not bad. But when she left, she was a fucking baby face.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden she's posing on, like she's putting her knee on the chick's fucking throat.
Good. I like
posing.
I'm a fan of hers.
All right.
And I put down she fought Queen Amanita and Yucky Sucky My Saki.
Yeah, Yucky Sucky Must. I don't know. I didn't even write it down.
Okay, I fast forwarded it and I didn't watch the rest.
So my notes for this match was Mariah May, hot AF, plus Deeb versus two jobbers. Queen Aminata has a fat ass. Then I wrote down again, Mariah May, so hot. Then I wrote, too long. And now I wrote, Serena Deeb, heel now? Question mark, because she was doing some heel antics. I'm wondering if they're trying to build up a Mariah May versus Serena Deeb feud, which is why they're randomly in a tag match together.
Wouldn't be a bad idea because I like both of them.
Yeah.
See, we said we like some people.
We do, yeah. Oh, Mariah May, yeah, she can do no wrong. Do you have any comments about this match? I think Mariah May and Deeb went over, obviously. You knew
I put my notes say I fast forwarded.
Okay. Well, here's the problem with AEW. 99.9% of the time, when the wrestlers are in the ring before the bell rings, you know who's winning.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to sit through sometimes an 18-minute match when you knew from Jump Street who the hell was going to win. Why can't they just clean it up, dummy it up a little bit? That's my only ask.
Yep.
You got 130 wrestlers on the roster. Why are you giving 18 or 12, 14 minutes, 12 minutes even to Mariah May and Serena Deeb versus Queen Aminata and Yucky Sucky?
Sucky My Saki.
Yeah, Sucky My Saki. Yeah. Then I have in my notes here, I don't know, I might be skipping something. I have the BCC was jumped by a private party.
Mm-hmm.
They came out, they did, they jumped them because I guess last week they jumped the private party. They were supposed to have a match. I wrote, this is way too long. 20 minutes into this just beat down by Moxley and Claudio beating up the private party dudes. Commander just shows up out of nowhere. He was the guy that was in the tag match with them last week that got all messed up because the BCC came in and tried to and stopped everything. And then I have Darby Allin has got a girl shirt on. He comes out. And
I'll tell you why I'm laughing in a second.
Oh, what are you going to say? He's wearing a shirt like Robert Frank.
Darby dressed like a drag queen.
Oh God, yeah. Like, dude, what is that? I know you're this little gothic. What do they call those straight edge? He's like a straight edge gothic
Yeah,
dude. But bro, do you have to wear a female see through blouse when
yeah.
you come out to the
And
ring?
mind you, he ran off John Moxley and Claudio. He ran them off.
Yeah, with the skate, all 160 pounds of them with a skateboard.
Uh, I have one last piece about this.
Go ahead.
It's going to get into another segment.
All right.
So Moxley went underneath the ring and grabbed a toolbox while the other guys for about a minute and a half held a guy down
Yep,
towards the entrance, right?
I remember.
He proceeds to basically tell him what he's getting ready to do, and he breaks the guy's hand.
Yeah,
Allegedly, right?
yeah,
There's another segment coming in here when security showed up within 10 seconds.
yeah, yeah. They're very picky and choosy when security. I guess private party isn't on the list of isn't on the Secret
Yeah.
Service list.
The one
So,
dude from Private Party is jacked. He looked pretty
um,
good. I forget who was who, but yeah, he
oh,
looked pretty good.
Mark Quinn.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're both really good, but Moxley
Yeah.
is absolutely correct what he said. He
Oh,
said you guys have been
yeah.
here for 5 years and you guys are in the same spot that
Yep.
you were in. I thought maybe he was going to try to recruit them to be in the Blackpool Combat Club, but it is true. These guys are just they're just
Mhm.
farting around and nobody is elevated. They've elevated very few people in the past 5 years. Um, you know, I
They've
guess
tried.
yeah, and anybody else who has been at the top of the card has already been established over the last 15,
Mhm.
20 years in wrestling, which is why. But you got your MJFs who came up. You knew he was going to be a big star. Swerve is one that climbed to the top.
Yeah. Neither
Hangman
one were on
Adam
the show,
Page.
by the way.
Yeah, that is true.
They're getting time off.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I heard. And by the way, Moxley actually looks like he's in better shape.
Well, we didn't see him with a
Yeah,
shirt
but he
off.
he looks I don't mind this angle so much. I bash them, but they're believable,
Right.
and he's good on the mic also. His
Yeah.
promos weren't bad at all. So this isn't that bad to me. It's like they're trying to do something the Bucks were doing 2 months ago, right? Beating everybody up behind the scenes.
Yeah.
It's like they keep
I think
replaying the
Moxley
same.
is very underrated in his promos. They're almost like Stone Coldish where they're believable
Yeah.
and yeah, he looks the part. He's not going to have a six pack and have veins running down his biceps, but his move set is a little suspect. He doesn't sell that well, but
No, no.
hey,
But he shaved his head. He finally went pure bald. It was a good idea.
Exactly. You need to do that. And guess who else did that back in the mid 90s after he was holding on for too long? Stone Cold Steve
Yeah,
Austin.
he had like a buzz cut. It was going. Yep.
Next up, I have Ricochet versus the Beast Mortos. Now, let me say this. I'm a PWG guy. Okay. I don't watch AAA or whatever the other one is, CMLL. I don't know which one Mortos was frequented. But I did watch PWG, and they would bring Mortos in PWG. And this dude, for his size, is a beast, bro. He could do some really cool shit, and he's a good base for a high flyer like Ricochet to be able to do whatever the hell he wants, and Mortos will catch him. I just wrote down, I said PWG reunion, his name was Taurus in PWG. I don't know if they ever wrestled before because I know Ricochet is an old PWG guy as well. But the match was what it was. It just seemed like a cold match. I know they tried to build it up last week with more toes coming out and whatever.
You're gonna be surprised what I think about this match.
All right. Well, I have down Ricochet wins, but what do you have as your notes?
Well, first off, when they announced Mortis at 202, at the exact same time, me and Taz said it too. He goes 202.
Yeah.
So he weighs the same as Hook. Okay. I put Ricochet good athlete. He's over.
Yeah.
He acts like a wrestler. He actually sells, and like some of the other high flyers, he sells stuff.
I think Ricochet is the best bump taker in wrestling. The way that he sells shit and the way that he lands on the mat and his body just flops around, it looks so kind of over the top, but believable at the same time. I like Ricochet.
And I said not a bad match in my notes.
Okay. Yeah. See, I didn't think you would like this because this was like a flippy floppy match. And
but I'm trying to
more
keep
into the headlocks and the body slams.
Not necessarily. I'm trying to keep an open mind because I know what this is.
Right.
Oh, and here comes something. I got a little pet peeves here, but go ahead.
All right. Well, I just I might be getting ahead here because I know that this is like a segment or two away, But bro, if you go back on YouTube or if you have seen the matches before, I think there's definitely one, there's possibly two matches, and there might even be more. I'm just not
Mhm.
up to date on it, between Will Ospreay and Ricochet. And I think it was their first match or their second match. They broke the freaking internet.
I could imagine.
The whole thing was just basically a scripted from start to finish. They wrote out every single move they were going to do. It was almost like Macho Man versus Ricky Steamboat
Mhm.
WrestleMania 3.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything was crisp. But these guys obviously are so much more athletic than Macho Man and Ricky Steamboat could ever be in terms of, the move set that they
Yeah,
have.
I got you.
But they're already building, and they already have a match scheduled for a couple weeks down the road between freaking Osprey and Ricochet.
Two
Why
baby
not
faces.
build this up for a couple of months,
Two
dude?
baby faces, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, so far. Everybody's saying that Ricochet should turn heel. Now, I know he was going to get cheered regardless when he first came to AEW because people
Mhm.
are excited to see him.
Yeah.
But he looks like, and again, I mentioned that I listen to Conan and Disco K, keeping it 100. They think the same thing, that he should be this arrogant
Prick.
dude because he is good looking. He's
Yeah.
jacked. He's the only problem with, being a heel and doing all those moves. Usually the heels don't really do the high flying stuff. It's
Mhm.
more like a baby face move set.
Yeah.
I mean, it does happen, obviously, but for the stuff that Ricochet could do, he's better suited as a baby face. But because his promos are so awkward and he just doesn't feel comfortable, even when he was talking to Osprey in the back,
Yeah.
you could tell he's not really comfortable on the mic. I think you turn him heel, give him a manager, and just be an arrogant POS. And I mean, dude, he's banging Samantha Irvin, who's again hottest brunette in wrestling. That's my opinion. If I could have, I could die tomorrow if I could have a threesome with Mariah May and Samantha Irvin. I could die a happy man. But
Make Don Callis his manager.
yeah, Don Callis could talk.
Don Callis, people get annoyed by him. I think he's a good heel manager.
Yeah, he's great. He's a great heel.
And he could talk.
So, what was your pet peeve?
Oh, well, there was the Hangman Adam Page segment.
Yeah. The Hangman Adam Page, Tony Schiavone in the ring.
You want my pet peeve?
Go ahead.
So Swerve Strickland 2 or 3 months ago breaks into the guy's house when he's sleeping, goes in his kid's room, is overlooking his son in the crib.
Yep.
This guy goes ape shit. Now he's the heel for going crazy because that sent him over the edge.
The fans decide, bro. Well, fans decide who's the baby face and the heel.
So, I mean, give me a break.
Yeah.
And then I said, and then Jeff Jarrett came in, still looks better than 90% of the roster.
I have here Jeff Jarrett more jacked than 95% of the AEW roster.
Well, we didn't go over these before the show.
No, we didn't. And I also have a Hangman quote too. I said Hangman reminds me of a not jacked Magnum TA.
Yeah, but Hangman looks like a wrestler.
He looks like a wrestler.
He's not small. He's got some muscle.
A little bit.
And I wish he would have hit Tony Schiavone, to be honest with you.
I don't think Tony's taking bumps these days, bro. I don't think Tony's ever taken a bump.
No, I don't think he's taking a salad either.
Yeah.
But then Jeff Jarrett came out to save him, and security got there immediately. When 20 minutes before that, they let some guy break someone's hand and did nothing. So that's my pet peeve.
Hey, listen, that's a theme throughout every single AEW show. You could point that out. Every 2-hour episode, there's at least one thing that happens where you're like, where the hell's security, bro?
I know. I just want to get it off my chest.
And remember back in the day when there used to be some kind of chaos like that, the person in charge of ringing the bell would ding 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 ding, keep hitting it just to create that aesthetic. There's some chaos going on, and like, hey, help, break it up. Yeah. Referees would run down to the ring. Nobody, what the frig, bro? So then we had the Ricochet versus Ospreay backstage segment. And, again, Ricochet just doesn't really seem comfortable on the mic. I'm hoping, because Ospreay is probably going to be the next face of AEW, if he's not already. But they got him with this little jobber title. What is it? The Continental title or the Eastern States title? Whatever
MJF's title.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
whatever that is.
Yeah. So the international title, I think.
Yeah, that's it.
So Ricochet now he's challenging him. They're going to put the title on the line. That's probably going to be Ricochet's first loss, unless they do something crazy where he cheats to win, and maybe a Don Callis or somebody comes and or interferes or
Yeah.
whatever. But I'm thinking about all the people that Ricochet could have matches with if they could build him up to be higher on the card. Because right now, obviously, he's brand new. He's only got 3 matches in the company. If they build him up to be closer to the top of the card, there's endless options for Ricochet to have banger matches
In
with.
AEW for sure. There is,
Oh, for sure.
absolutely.
Kenny, I don't even think Kenny Omega and Ricochet ever touched before. That would be when Kenny Omega comes back. That would be a great match. There's so many of them.
I mean, there's a lot. Yeah, there's tons of guys. I agree. And I like Ricochet. I think his matches are good.
Yeah, he's very good. So Okada and the Bucks versus Ospreay, Fletcher, and Takeshita. Which is weird because Don Callis is still the manager of Fletcher, who seems like a baby face. Takeshita is a heel. Ospreay is not with the faction, but he's with the faction. Don Callis is still his manager. He's doing favors for people. The fans love Okada because they remember the Rainmaker from New Japan and from 2015 to 2021 or whatever, when he was in his heyday. And the Bucks, who just have go away heat. I don't know what happened to the Young Bucks. I think it was the flip flop of babyface to heel, the CM Punk thing where they got into the fight. That's when everything seemed to go downhill for them. But the fans they don't even pop for the big moves anymore.
No, they don't care.
They're just like sitting on their hands. But they love Okada. And I just wrote in my notes, good match, fast paced. I know you have a little gripe because your DVR went off and it was an overrun. What happened?
5 years they've had this company and they can't get that right. You know how many, I'm not the only one, how many people DVR'd this.
Yeah.
And actually, I thought this match was entertaining. I was getting into it.
I said good match, fast paced. Yeah. I said Okada's going through the motions. He got his little $5 million a year, and he's just not doing anything crazy.
He's banged up and just getting old from all the abuse he took.
Probably. Yeah, Japan is not an easy style, bro. No. They throw you on your head always.
Yeah, Ospreay is over as hell.
Yeah,
that Fletcher. What was that?
Oh, sorry. I have this on the Roadcaster.
No Robert Frank stuff.
Sorry.
That Fletcher, he's a star in the making.
Oh, for sure.
He's 6'5". He's athletic.
He's got a good build.
He's going to get bigger probably. Same with Takeshita. I think he's a star also. They should use
I do too.
He's good.
Yeah. He plays the role well of an arrogant POS like heel.
Yeah.
Better than, I mean, the fans still love him though, because that crowd loves the where did he come from? I forget. It wasn't Stardom is the Chicks Federation. He came from DDT, I think, which is another Japanese federation that's out there. And but yeah, to see him, they're probably building up to a big match between him and Okada for something. But again, 2 heels. What the hell? Like, what's happening here? I have in my notes, just to close out, Fletcher pins Matt Jackson. Poor Matt Jackson is always the Jackson that gets pinned. And when they lose matches, it's never Nick that gets pinned. Well, it's always Matt.
That's, at least now I know what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what happened. Obviously, I mean, you kind of knew what was going to happen, unless the only person that I could see getting pinned from the Takeshita, Will Ospreay, and Fletcher side would probably have been Fletcher. He probably would have been the one to take the L. But he's taken so many L's lately, and he is a star, and he's up and coming. And I feel this is like one of those rockers things where, because remember, Kyle Fletcher is part of Aussie Open, where him and that dude Mark, I forget what the guy's name is, but shorter, stockier guy with a mustache.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
they were a tag team, and they were a very good tag team. But the dude got hurt, I think, in a match with FTR, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong on that, but he got hurt, and and now he's been out for months, and Kyle Fletcher was forced to go on his own, and people are opening their eyes like, holy shit, this might be the next Shawn Michaels. You know what I mean?
That he's well, like, we think he's a star, whether or not they treat him like a star or push him like a star.
Yeah.
Is a different story. Who did you mentioned FTR?
Yeah,
Add them to a list of the best workers on that roster that weren't there.
correct. Well, I think they're more collision guys.
Okay, well,
Yeah, I think they're trying to split the roster where
okay.
they feature the FTR and yeah,
I got you. I got you.
FTR again, they're believable. They work well together. They're both they're not ripped or jacked or anything, but
They
they
look like
both have
men.
size to
Yeah,
them and
yeah.
they look like men that you wouldn't want to get into a bar fight
Right.
with. So, it's a shame that WWF or WWE just totally abused them and made them feel some type of way, but I got a funny feeling that FTR will be back in WWE before you know it. Who do you think is we'll end with this because this was pretty much our review.
Yeah, I
I
think we're
give
pretty quick.
overall, I give the show start to finish. If I was going to give it a grade, just based on action, based on things making sense, based on promos and advancing stories, I'd probably give this show a B minus or possibly a C plus if I was going to give it a letter grade. What would you give this show? Top to
I was
bottom?
thinking C-ish.
A C-ish? Okay.
Yeah, because there's stuff I did like.
Yeah,
Believe it
stuff
or
I
not.
liked, stuff that really didn't make sense. Mariah May was on the show, which is always
Yeah,
gonna
if they show her for 2 hours, it'll be A plus, huh?
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Who do
I
you think is the next who do you real quick, who do you think is the next big jump from AEW to WWE?
okay, so real quick, I think FTR just signed a contract like 6 months ago, so they're not going anywhere.
Oh, okay. All right. Didn't know.
Ricky Starks.
Oh. Yeah, but what are they going to do with Ricky Starks? Ricky Starks isn't going to go to WWE and start tossing it up with
Yeah, okay, so like bigger guys.
well, I mean, no, you
Like,
you
I
you
know
called
what
it.
you
You
mean.
said Ricky Starks, but where would you see him? I feel like Ricky Starks has a ceiling because he's not that big of a guy.
You're right. You're right. But I think he can talk. I think he's a good worker. I think he can talk. I think he's entertaining. I mean, if they could put that, who's that little guy? Johnny Garjanjo, whatever the fuck his name is.
Yeah, but he's he's like in a
Yeah.
mid card. Yeah. I mean, okay. So no, Ricky Starks is
How
a
about
pretty
what do
big
you?
name.
There's a couple I would think. I think Wardlow I mentioned already.
I think Wardlow is going to go over there. I just saw that Alex Hammerstone showed up on NXT.
Oh, did he?
Now, I know that NXT and TNA because Hammerstone was in TNA, and I know they have a working relationship. Joe Hendry keeps going back and forth. Jordan Grace keeps going back and forth. I saw on YouTube a little clip of Hammerstone going over to NXT, and I was like, oh boy, I'm wondering why he freaking hasn't been there yet. But I remember he kept getting tryouts, or he kept, for whatever reason, he wasn't cutting the mustard. And I don't know what the reason was, but the dude is jacked out of his mind, looks the part. He's almost like a Brian Cage type, where I don't know really what his promo game is like, but I'm pretty sure he follows me on Instagram. And anytime his shit scrolls across my feed, I always double tap and leave him a comment. So yeah, Hammerstone is I know this has nothing to do with Dynamite, but just pointing out that I saw him.
So real quick, who do you think the next big jump would be from AEW to the WWE?
Not knowing contract situations, but someone who I think can be big in WWE. They're probably going to send them to NXT first. Would be Wardlow.
Yep.
That's my
Hobbs.
That would be who I'd pick. Hobbs needs Wardlow and Hobbs both need more schooling under their belt.
I agree.
They're definitely straight to NXT guys. They're not going to go right to the main roster. Yeah. They're definitely going to be, AEW to NXT, but I would think they would be those two would definitely be at the top.
I don't know if it was on and we're about done here. The last show of me and you were talking offline, who I think is a big star in the women's division is Chris Statlander.
Oh yes, Statlander. Yeah, she's got size, good move set.
People like her. She can talk.
Yeah, I think she's got a fat ass. I think she's pretty. Like when you just look at her face, and that's pretty big for WWE, unless you're Nia Jax and even Nia Jax is not ugly. She's just
her face is pretty.
She kind of looks like J-Lo if J-Lo gained 400 pounds.
Yeah, I mean she has an ass on her like a $10 racehorse, but she's good looking.
Hey, hey.
Are we allowed to say that on here?
Well, you did, and I'm not editing it out. So there you go.
Sorry.
All right. This has been our AEW review for AEW Dynamite. Again, guys, if you made it this long, 39 minutes into the review, remember, this is our first time ever doing a review. So if we're kind of talking over each other or not getting to our point quick enough, we will get better as the time goes on. And I'm looking forward to doing more. How about you, Zach?
Absolutely. This has been fun, and we'll see you guys soon. We appreciate it.
Yes,
Like,
sir.
comment, subscribe, follow, all that stuff, right? We have to say that.
Yeah. Make sure hit us up over on Instagram. Make sure you guys go over to our Facebook page. We're going to be posting the shorts and the shorts on the YouTube of little, highlights and clips of our recaps, and then we will be doing the reels on Facebook and Instagram. So make sure you check us out everywhere so you don't miss a thing.
And where can they at Bearded Bastards Podcast?
Correct. Bearded Bastards Podcast everywhere. Easy to find. Take care. Brush your hair. Till the next episode. Robert Frank and Zach G signing out. All right. That was it.